Hey, what's up? This is Nick Rollo. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to show you how to produce drums in 2022. I use Studio One. You can use whatever DAW you please. And let's jump into the video. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. There's links in the description to things like my beats. If you are a rapper or singer or whatever, you can hire me as a mixing engineer or a producer. All that fun stuff. Let's go. I don't want to plug it no more. I've already done this song. I've already produced it pretty loosely, but I'm going to show you what I've done, and perhaps I'll show you how to do it. But yeah, man, I'm not making much sense. I'll just play the thing. There you go. First off, the most important thing is drum sample choices, assuming you're not using like an acoustic drum kit. The samples are everything. I mean, these samples aren't even that good, but at the base level, at like the core level, the most important thing here is the drum samples. If you have bad drum samples, nothing else you do will make it sound good. Man, I feel so congested. Ugh. But yeah, make sure they're good. And good is kind of subjective here, but just choose wisely. Go into it thinking like, I want these sounds. Like I want the snare to be snappy, or I want the kick to be like this, or the hat's like this. I guess like good can be in the context of that's what you want, like that's the sound. Also sonically, some samples are literally better than others. There are some kicks where for whatever reason you get like the transient punch, but the person who designed the sample also decided like, hey, I'm gonna let in this big sub thwub. That's a good word. Thwub later, so you get like doo. I mean, maybe somebody likes that. I personally hate that sound. Doo. Wait, that was a good kick. It's like doo. You know what I mean? Wow, tangents. But yeah, so choose wisely. Some are better than others. I like Splice. I mean, you have to hunt quite a lot, but there is a lot of good stuff on there. You can also just buy sample packs, or there's like the classic, 808s and stuff. Like not just like an 808 bass, but just like the 808, like the drum machine stuff. It's classic. Anyway, good sample choice is important. Anyway, so I'm using Studio One, as I said. This works in anything, like Ableton, Logic, FL, whatever you're using. This method pretty much will apply. In Studio One, there's two different views for drums. You got this one, which is just like a MIDI kind of note style thing, or it can be this drum track mode. I personally really like using the pattern editor because it's like a step sequencer, which is, the classic like FL Studio thing. Ableton also has it. So obviously we've got steps here, 32, 64, 16 is the standard. I just find like working in this kind of way is just really easy. Like it kind of allows you to just go on the fly, and you can kind of be faster and more creative, I guess. It's not just like plotting like MIDI notes per se. But yeah, so I've actually been pretty lazy with this. Often a good thing to do is change the velocity of hi-hats. So I'll just let's just create like a new thing. Bam, like that. So choosing where your snare hits, you can either go for that double time kind of feel, or half time feel, depending on like what the tempo is. So I think that feels good for whatever reason. That just kind of does it for me. With kicks, I like to have either 32 or 64 beats, or steps, I guess, as like the pattern, because it allows for a little bit more, what's the right word? Like it's not as repetitive, which I think is really important to do. It doesn't have to be so crazy unique every time it hits, but just having a little bit of variety, I think, is nice. It just makes it a little bit less repetitive on the ears. So something like this. Maybe a double here. So we're linking up with the bass, if you notice on those kicks. And maybe another kick right at the end. And then perhaps if you wanted to make it a bit more exciting, you could have a kick in this region. So it's a bit bouncier. I kind of like it without this for whatever reason. That's just tickling my pickle. Can I even say that on YouTube? Alright, and our hi-hats. Let's do it. So we'll just plug them like this. Sounds alright. Really simple, obviously. As I was saying before, what I usually do... Was I saying it before? I had some weird video editing problem, but what... I've been really lazy with this one. That was a really weird sound. So this is the original, right? There's no velocity differences here. It's just constant. And that can sound cool, and I kind of liked it in this particular scenario. Often I don't, so I like to change up the velocity. Honestly, even just doing it like this really lazily, it just adds a bit of like swagger to it, you know? It feels like, if you think of a drummer, when they're playing a hi-hat, they're not going it's like the actual technique kind of goes so you get like hit, accent hit, then like less accent. So it just kind of makes it more like real. And so same with this, I kind of go 64 often. In Studio One, I really like this thing called repeat because you can do like hi-hat rolls really easily. Like there, you just put on 2. That's however many repeats you want. 2 seems to do it. If you go too hard, it's let's go 10 for reference. Bit chaotic, either way. Yeah, and then you can add in other stuff. You know, maybe you want like a supplementary hi-hat. You can't even hear that because it's not very loud right now, but you get the idea, and you just want it to feel good. I feel like if you're starting with the instrumental, i.e. not the drums, you just want to make sure that it doesn't like clash with anything, especially like bass lines and just general rhythms. Just make sure it all kind of like is cohesive. At the end of the day, music is just about being cohesive, right? It's about a piece of art that should all work together. Next step for production is obviously kind of the mixing side of that. Leveling is important. This is not very well leveled. It's lazy. I don't know really how to say what to do here, but just like I feel like you've heard how drums sound in records. You don't want the hi-hat to be louder than the kick. Getting rid of some of the lows is always good. You don't really need super subs, and with snares, you know, under 100 probably is not super important. Same with the hi-hat. Let's go there. I usually run into a bus compressor, so I'll just create a bus real quick. And on this bus, I like to do... Where's my drum bus? I don't think... Oh, maybe you could see that pop up. But I like to have a compressor like this. This is a ratio of 4:1. A very quick attack. Wait, no. The attack's actually quite slow. Interesting. Moderate release and just a little bit of makeup gain. Not sure why I chose these settings actually, but I like these settings. They do the trick for me. Sometimes a bit of reverb is nice. Just adds a bit of space. You don't need very much with that. I find a bit of tape always goes a long way. And I haven't even done this right for this beat, so I've just done a really lazy job. It just adds a bit of movement. R bass is always great. I'm doing a rush job around here, right? Just adds depth. That's kind of my loose bus chain on a drum bus. It's important to have variations throughout the song. You know, you want like the verse to be different. You know, start off with no kick, bring in the kick, and and then maybe the chorus has more kicks, has more hi-hat runs. You know, just like variation is important. And having cuts I'd like to do like so. And if you use Studio One, a good little trick is you're running in the pattern operator. So say this is a verse over here. If you press G, it turns it into just like a MIDI clip, and then that way you can cut stuff really easily. In the pattern, it's a bit of a trek to cut things, so I like to do that. Just make sure you have a copy of the pattern, because if you don't have a copy, it'll delete itself, because I don't know, technology. But yeah, that's kind of how I approach drums when I'm programming them and all of that. So I don't know if this was overly helpful, but if it was helpful, feel free to smash the like button, and I'll catch you next video. Have a good day. Bye.